2 goals to the good inside of 25 minutes here at the Volkswagen Arena. And Wolfsburg, despite some injury issues, no Alex Popp, no Marina Hegeling to start at the very least, and no Lena Latwein, you think they might be a little bit weaker, but they are of course coming up against, or were of course coming up against, a very injury-hit Arsenal team. There's a couple of mistakes, a couple of gifts from Arsenal, if you will, to allow Wolfsburg to have that 2-goal lead. And at that point, you think, well, Wolfsburg are going to start dominating, and they did. They had the better of it in the rest of the first half. They could have, should have had a bigger cushion, and Arsenal scored very much against the run of play right at the end of the first half, which really fragmented the hosts after the break. They struggled to get the good connections you need, and out of nothing, very unexpectedly, Arsenal pulled back an equaliser. And yes, Wolfsburg finished strong. They dug out some good form, some good energy to try and get back into the game, to give themselves something to go to the Emirates with. But they couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. It's actually quite similar to Barcelona yesterday. For all their endeavours, they could only score once. It's kind of similar to Wolfsburg and Arsenal here today, again facing an English team who are playing 3 at the back, or 5 at the back in some situations. But what we've seen from Wolfsburg this season, last season as well, under Tommy Strutt, is some inconsistencies in the team, and they have dropped points, they have lost games. They looked very wobbly against PSG in the quarters. They lost ground in the title race to Bayern Munich, even though they looked like they were flying, heading towards being Deutsche Meisters yet again. And now they're behind Bayern Munich, but then when they faced them in the Pokal recently, they absolutely trounced them. So we know that this Wolfsburg team has it in them. And, you know, they've got a tricky trip to Arsenal. We know that the Emirates is going to be quite full, and at 2-2, Arsenal will be so buoyed, so full of enthusiasm for this game, thinking they're still in the tie, when they really could have been out of it half an hour in. But I think the ball is very much in Arsenal's court, or very much in end 7. So we'll have to see how this one plays out. But both ties, for 2 very injury-hit English teams, could have been over at the halfway point, but both are still very much alive going into the second legs. It's huge resilience from Arsenal today. I think that's the story, not a good crowd for Wolfsburg, a record crowd for Wolfsburg, some good goals, some good individual performances, but the resilience from this Arsenal team, I think that's the takeaway from today.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.